My name is Jesper Birch Jensen, and I work as an analyst here at ABG, where I follow companies like ALLGON. And today we have CFO Johan Nordén and CFO Sten Hildemar, who's going to tell us all about ALLGON and their future plans. So please go ahead, Johan.
Thank you. Welcome all to this session about ALLGON Group. I'm going to take you forward this presentation. A little bit background, you can see on the movie example. We're going to talk about radio remote control and what is that. The best thing to do to introduce is to take a movie. You can see the industry where we are using radio remote control. You can see it in all environments where we have robots environments and also all the time using this radio remote control. Here you can see example where they're using control to steer machines. Except me, I'm going to let over later to Sten Hildemar, who is the CFO for the ALLGON Group. I want to start also to have a short overview. We're going to talk about radio remote control. It's 80% of our revenue totally. We also have a vertical connectivity, which I'm going to explain a little bit, but the focus will be on the radio remote control. Some key numbers. We have 1 year since we acquired Teleradio, and with Teleradio we increased 200%, and we have reached the net sales of 560 million. And also you can see in the last quarter we reached EBITDA margin above 16%. 370 employees, so during one night we grow a lot. And also we are operating in 18 countries. And we climbed in the radio remote global market to number 5. I'm going to explain a little bit more about that. I'm going to talk about 4 segments, and this is not how we report economics. This is how I want to introduce you to you can understand the market and the segments we are operating in. If you look into ALLGON for the radio remote control, and you can see that we are very strong at our home market, Nordics and especially also Sweden, but focus also in Europe, but we are all the time trying to expand and become more international. We have Teleradio, which has the subsidiaries around the world, and we have Åkerströms, which are selling through distributor model. And Åkerström is also expanding their sales together with customers like SSAB, Atlas Copco, Husqvarna, etc., bigger accounts. For me, it's much easier to talk about industrial remote control, what is not. We're getting closer to the Christmas. You can see toys is using all the connected thing and also radio controls. But this is not what we are working with. For the industry, we have diversified customer base, and we have long and loyal customer partnerships together with the customer. The entries for the barriers is very high. So when we finally get into the customer, they will stay for many years. And this is also typical for the industries. Essentially in the industrial process, I want to highlight a couple of things for us which are working forward with the radio remote control. First of all, safety. We talk about mission critical products. Safety all the time. And you have emergency button, you have also controlling system all the time working 24 hours. Efficiency is about radio remote control. Of course, the industry always driving through this process. And you also can see that what we are working with together with the customer, also when we develop new product, it's about the ergonomics. It's very important because this control is using 24 hours all the time. So it's very important that everything works well and also for the user. Automation is about, we talk about in a lot of buzzwords, Industry 4.0. These two companies with a long history has made this for many, many years. And of course, we are together with the customer and develop all the time new effective solution together with the customers. The market we are operating in, if we take a look in it, it's 6 to 8 billion Swedish crowns. and we have an average growth of 12%. ALLGON is doing a little bit more than that. You can see it this year, we are about that, and we focus a lot in sales. And this is also our colleague estimate the market value. Now I'm going to talk a little bit more about this segment so you can understand more where we operate with our customers and where you can find teleradio and also orchestras. You can see it in the top there, movies also, so you can see the example for the industry. Here we talk about tailor-made solutions, and we also talk about aftermarket and service. This is not just a simplified customization. We work together with the customers, and also it's extremely high demanding for safety in this area. Orchestram has a long history, more than 50 years, developing these products, and teleradio go more for international expansion. Mobile, you can see the movie on the top. You see a driver steps out from the truck, and he actually put in the remote control. And this is how you can avoid that he will get into a critical zone. You can steer the truck with a remote control. And when I talk about mobile, it's transportation. It's more easy. This mobile is more for internal what we are listing the applications. But transportation, heavy duty equipment, and this is a high growth segment. All the time it's we can see a new application. And here we also have teleradio, which are growing rapidly in the subsidiaries around the world. Mining is also one area which our focus is on. And of course, it's focused on security. There you also have more tailor-made solution together with the customer, and optimization for production. It's very important. For example, we are growing now together with Boliden and also with Lundin Mining. So this is a very interesting area to work with the customer outside. We talk about door and gates. Of course, you can use your mobile phone to open a door and gate. You can do it in your home. But for industrial perspective, it's very important to have first of all, safety and also battery capacity. This is also where you have much more large volume market, and this is a little bit more plug and play, but it is customization for the customer. For example, Volvo Cars, as one example, they have a lot of industry doors which we are supplying and supporting. We can take a look into next year a little bit, what we are doing all the time. We have two very good platforms, two strong brands, two strong cultures. And what we're doing here for remotes, I just recently talked about that we are together with the customer develop new functionality. With Boliden, we have made a cloud-based data. This is what we talk about, Industry 4.0. But remember, the industry is very conservative. So what we do together is to secure the safety, and we have developed a new application which we're going to roll out in new sites next year. And we have already invested in this platform, and together with the customer, we can do new applications. So this is a very exciting project which is going to be rolled out next year. And once again, we are testing everything together with the customer, and we have so long history and loyal partnership. We also launched a new platform, Puma. And Puma is the next step. It's a new powerful system. And we also see this as an accelerator for the hydraulic business, and also what I talked about recently about transportation. This is very interesting for us. In this platform, we also have this RFID solution, which we can control the radio remote control and collect data. So this is a complete fulfillment platform which we're going to roll out definitely next year. We have started this year with this launch, and this investment is already made. So now we're looking forward for next year to roll out this platform. I will mention also the other vertical, connectivity, because it's 20% of ALLGON total revenue. We have two companies. First of all, it's Smartec Wireless, and here we focus on energy, electricity meters, and also EV charging stations. And as you know, it probably will be more electric cars than there is infrastructure now. So it's a very interesting business where they have a growing stage now. SatMission is working for the satellite, and this is a project-based driven business. So in some quarter, we don't have any sales because it's much, much bigger sale value in this case. We also have industrial IoT, and I just show you the example where we're using the cloud-based data to the customer. Remember, we have more than 10,000 customers in the industry and the mobile sector, which we are using this kind of solution. And this is also interesting for us to take a look in what's the new technology will be. A little bit summary. We want to step a little bit more further up on the stage, and of course we aim for number one. And how will we do that? First of all, we have two strong brands, Teleradio and ALLGON. We're entering the market from two sides. With Teleradio, we had a growth plan. We know that new subsidiaries, we also aim for 2 new market every year. This year it became to 3 market. ALLGON will grow with the industry customer around the Nordic region, and of course we see the benefits. These two companies will work together for the common backend solution. We're talking about platform. But you can compare us a little bit more like automotive. If you compare us like Volvo Cars, they have the same platform but the same backend. And this is very interesting for us to combine. I just mentioned it's a very interesting market. It's a high margin market, and of course it's a growing phase all the time. We can see it also the investment. If we talk about we climb up to 6 to 7%, and we want definitely to climb more. 6 to 8 billion is the estimation of the market in total value. New distributor network. We have subsidiary now since October in Brazil, France, and Russia. It will take 1 year until we see the effect. But this is very important in long-term business because we have so many upcoming opportunities here. So when we decided, we have a clear vision and plan which country we can see the opportunity for to grow. We have one of the widest product range in the market, and this is very unique to have these two platforms. And once again, my mission and vision is to have in the future the same software backend. And this is very important for us to have a fallback solution. We are not there yet, but we will work on that case. This market is a little bit fragmented, and of course, there's a foundation for consolidation. As you can see, ALLGON, we focus on sale. We have a lot of opportunity to grow with new subsidiaries, but of course, we are open for more acquisition. In some areas, some countries where we already have the subsidiary, it's a benefit for us to have our own employees if something comes up. Our strategy, once again, sales and distributor model. We have shown you and also shown the market that this work very well. I personally are looking into increase the aftermarket sales. And imagine yourself that this next step, we will also have service maintenance. We can see all the remote control, all the installations, which we can also provide more services and more information to the customer. This is the future, and this is what we already started with Boliden. Puma with the next generation, definitely it will become more interesting for the customer. The R&D, we will invest, but we will invest also together with the customer. But because the industry, however it is in the industrial door or transportation, they are very conservative. So we getting very close to the customer and try to do new application on their already established platform that we have. So this is a strategy we have forward. Now we'll let over to Sten Hildemar.
So, thank you, Johan. Since we are in between report dates, I will only have a short 2 slides update. The third quarter report is available on the home side, together with the financial hearing that goes with it. For the first 9 months of 2019, we have a turnover of 430 million Swedish crowns, and we reach a EBITDA at 76.6, which corresponds to a margin of 17.8%. We are satisfied with this result. We think we have performed well. During these 3 first quarters, we have a result for the period of 27.7 million, which corresponds to a profit per share of 48 öre per share. And the cash flow has also been satisfactory. We have made 43.2 from the operating activities while growing in a rapid pace, which you need to remember when you look at the numbers. At the end of September, we have a net debt of 225 million Swedish, and also we have a net debt ratio to the EBITDA adjusted to 2.5. So it has been declining, this ratio, over time. We are satisfied with this, as I told you, and you can see in the report that we now are in a situation where we consolidated Teleradio for a full quarter last year and up to 3 quarters this year. So we have a rolling 12 months to report, and we have a turnover of 560 million and a EBITDA at 91 million. So the message is that we from the management are satisfied with the year so far, and the summary is what Johan has talked about. We look at ourselves as we have 2 companies that are growing quickly, Åkerströms and Teleradio. They are profitable, both of them, and the growth is on a group level comes from the turnaround in Åkerströms and from the success that Teleradio has had in expanding their business. The global market is growing, so we feel that we're in a pretty good place. And I don't intend to say all that much more, but I will be available for Q&As if somebody has some specific financial questions they want to ask me. And back to you, Jesper.
Thank you, Johan and Sten. First off, it's been more than a year since you bought Teleradio and more than doubled your sales and personnel base overnight. How's the implementation gone so far? Has it all been according to plan or any surprises?
It's going according to the plan, and of course we're talking about synergy regarding this acquisition, and we are not the guys who's putting out the synergies so far. I mean, we have reached 5 million in synergies so far. We estimate 15 million during a period of 3 years. But once again, it's focused on sales. As you can see, I'm quite satisfied that we are growing faster than the market. So it's going very well for us now.
And speaking of Teleradio, you recently announced that you're expanding geographically by establishing subsidiaries in Brazil, Russia, and France. When should investors expect these subsidiaries to be up and running and contributing to the top line of the group?
Yeah, we are up and running right now, but when you can expect to see effect in the numbers, you can calculate that first of all 1 to 3 years. It depends how much business, of course, we have together with the. Mostly, it's two things to establish new subsidiaries. Once it's to buy a distributor to convert it to our own subsidiaries. And then you have the benefits, they already have business. In these 3 countries, we started with the most important for us, the management employees, which are well known in the business. So 1 to 3 years you can expect, but we are profitable after 1 year.
And do you have any other specific markets in mind if you're going to expand through Teleaudio other than those 3?
We had for next year Russia, but we found once again the employees is the most important thing we have, except of course the product. So we decided to start with Russia directly this year. So we have in focus 2 new countries, but I will not tell you which country, but we have it in our plan.
Okay. And what are some of the challenges when you expand to a country like Russia or Brazil that is pretty far away from your home base in Sweden? Like, what are some of the challenges you meet?
Russia, I have many friends and colleagues that said that don't step into Russia because it's a problem with the payments. And of course, but this is sales value. It's not so much if you compare it to satellite business. But the issue we can see is that we all selling in prepayment in cash. So I mean, you need to secure the payment in, for example, Russia. But it's a very interesting market because they are not so. They are a little bit behind if you compare to Sweden, for example. We are very in line with new technology. So it's a good opportunity, but you need to be a little bit more careful about the customer. And therefore, we found this guy is fantastic building up Russia and worked for Sandvik before. So it's more that to establish new team.
And these 2 markets, Russia and Brazil, they have a lot of industry that is a lot like ours, a lot of forestry, industry and mining. So it is we're going into markets where we know what the customers would look like. And Brazil will be operated as a subsidiary out of Teleradio's American subsidiary with the guys, and that guy has a strong connection to South America. So we're not going to run that from Gothenburg.
And I was also wondering, in your Q3 report, you announced that you were moving part of your assembly for Teleradio from China to Vietnam in order to counteract the tariffs. I was wondering, given the recent developments between China and the US, have you decided to move a larger part? Or
no, we went through the production facilities. We have 2 production facilities. Åkerströms has one in Tianjin, and Teleradio has one in Xiamen. And we concluded that the Åkerströms production facility, we won't gain anything really by moving it. It's running good, and we don't need to fix what's not broken. When it comes to Teleradio, has a much bigger operation. It's like 4 times the size of Åkerströms facility. We are starting up come 2020 to move a bit of the production over to Vietnam, and then we'll take steps from there. And basically, it's products that are labor intense and that are dedicated for the American market.
Okay, and lastly, given your strong performance in 2019, what should we expect for 2020?
It's up to me. Of course, we're satisfied with this performance now. We focus on sales, and we focus also to grow on healthy business and be profitable. So, I mean, we don't see an economic situation that the customer are hesitating. Instead, we see that there is a demand for our products. So we will focus and try to do our best to keep this line.
All right. Thank you, Johan and Sten.
Thank you.